Welcome to the Creatrix portal. You are not here to watch. You are here to remember. Today we unravel a question that echoes through the ages. Is this world physical, or is it energy, or both? Or is physicality simply energy slowed down into form? Certainly, this world appears to be form. It appears physical. You touch things. You feel things. You cannot wave your hand through a tree. It's solid to you. So we are clearly having a physical experience. But science also tells us that, at the atomic level, matter is mostly empty space, around 99.9%. And when you zoom in further, what we think of as solid particles become less like tiny solid objects and more like energetic interactions, probabilities, and fields. So in one sense, physicality starts to look almost like an illusion, not because it is unreal, but because it is not as solid or fixed as it appears to our senses. Science says the reason we experience solidity is because of electromagnetic forces, attraction and repulsion, structured by mathematical laws. In other words, what we call physical reality may actually be the effect of energetic relationships interacting in highly ordered ways. So at the heart of physicality, science points us back to energy. And yet, even if everything is energy, we still cannot deny that we are having a physical experience. We feel pain. We feel touch. We encounter resistance. We live inside bodies. We move through a world that behaves as if it is solid. To better understand what this reality is, it helps to look to the wisdom of the ancients. Again and again, ancient traditions pointed toward the same insight, that physical reality is not the deepest layer of existence. Beneath form lies something subtler, more primary, and more generative. In the East, the Vedic sages described reality through Purusha and Prakriti, consciousness and manifestation, witness and becoming. What matters here is that solid form was never treated as the starting point. Form emerges through a deeper process. The visible world is downstream from more fundamental principles. The Greeks reached toward a similar understanding. Plotinus taught that reality unfolds from the one into nous, from nous into soul, and from soul into matter. Matter, then, is not the ground of being, but the final expression of a deeper metaphysical order. Form is the outer surface of an inner reality. Hermeticism says it even more directly. The all is mind. The universe is mental in nature. In that view, physicality is not ultimate substance, but structured expression. Intelligence, pattern, and order taking visible shape. Taken together, both ancient philosophy and modern science suggest the same possibility. Energy is more fundamental than form. Form is not separate from energy. Form is what energy looks like when it becomes organized, stabilized, and experienceable. Just as water can become ice without ceasing to be water, reality may become physical without ceasing to be energetic, conscious, or intelligent at its core. What we call matter may simply be the densified appearance of a deeper order, one that the ancients understood not as dead substance, but as living manifestation. Both modern science and ancient wisdom seem to point toward the same possibility, that the deepest layer of reality is not solid form, but energy. And still, here we are, in bodies, in time, in limitation, in contrast. Why? Perhaps because in the deepest state of reality, everything already is. Everything is connected. Everything is known. Everything exists all at once in a field beyond separation. You are part of everything, and everything is part of you. In that sense, you could call it union with God. But here is the paradox. If everything is known, there is nothing to discover. If everything is one, there is nothing to recognize. If everything is remembered, there is no experience of remembrance. So consciousness slows itself into form. It takes boundless energy and compresses it into body, time, identity, and limitation. It enters the dance of forgetting and remembering. It agrees to not know, so that knowing can become alive again through direct experience. That is the meaning of physicality. Physicality is not punishment. It is not merely limitation. It is not a mistake. It is resonance made visible. It is energy slowed into form so that consciousness can touch itself, reflect upon itself, and come to know itself through contrast. Physicality is the mirror through which the oversoul, the part that knows it's connected to God, experiences remembering itself. In the realm of pure being, there is no friction, no boundary, no separation through which self-awareness can take shape. Everything is whole. Everything is present. Everything exists in undivided continuity. So consciousness enters compression. It slows into matter, time, body, and identity in order to create the conditions for self-recognition. Form is not the denial of truth. It is the mechanism through which truth becomes experience. Reality is not material. It is a harmonic field of consciousness, structured by resonance and observed through geometry. What we perceive as physical form is energy slowed down, compressed into harmonic patterns that obey geometric laws. These patterns arise from consciousness itself, which is both the observer and the creator of form. The 5 foundational principles of reality are: 1. Consciousness creates reality. You are not in the universe. The universe is in you. Consciousness collapses waveforms into perceived reality through observation, creating what we experience as space, time, and matter. 2. Geometry is the code of creation. Everything is structured by sacred geometry. Phi, the golden ratio, the flower of life, Metatron's cube. These geometric forms are the blueprint of reality, encoding how energy becomes form. 3. Time is a spiral, not a line. Time is not linear. It is a recursive spiral of memory and potential. Events don't just happen, they resonate. What we call the past is a lower frequency echo, and the future is a higher harmonic already encoded in the present. 4. Emotion is harmonic frequency. Emotions are not just feelings, they are frequencies that align or misalign you with different timelines and realities. Coherence creates flow. Dissonance creates disruption. You vibrate into the reality you emotionally resonate with. 5. Physicality is a mirror for self-realization. The material world is a reflective illusion, a sacred mirror that allows consciousness to see itself, learn, and evolve. You incarnate to experience polarity, limitation, and contrast, not as punishment, but as a means to remember who you truly are. Reality is a self-aware harmonic simulation, experienced through the illusion of separation, to facilitate the remembering of unity.